Peak Performance Coach AJ Madden here. Today we'll talk about principle number 2 from our 7 principles from 1% Warrior Code of Success, now available on Amazon and my website, coachajmadden.com. Principle number 2, surround yourself with the best and brightest. And from our 1% Warrior Code of Success book, I will read a few quotes and expand on a few of these concepts. Each principle has 3 master keys. So in this video, we will cover the principle and the 3 master keys. And here's a quote from Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, one of the best executive coaches and leadership coaches probably in the world. He says, learn as much as you can and help as much as you can. Learn as much as you can and help as much as you can. Surround yourself with the best and brightest. And this is, I call this the if we can break this principle down, the M3 method, which is the only shortcut to success. This is the only shortcut to success that I've ever seen. The M3 method, which is 3 M's: mentorship, modeling, and most impactful material. Those are the only shortcuts to success: to find a mentor, to model success, and to read or listen to or watch the most impactful material that you can find in terms of your success and your happiness. And here's a quote from Roland Lazenby. He was Michael Jordan's biographer, and he talks about how Michael Jordan in the book asked more questions to those around them than any other player in the NBA. The greatest player of all time asked more questions to those people around them than anyone else in the NBA. And if that piece of success doesn't leave clues right there, I don't know what does. Here's a piece of advice from Peak Performance Coach James Altucher. He says, stand next to the smartest person in the room. Harold Ramis did it with Bill Murray. Steve Jobs did it with Steve Wozniak. Craig Silverstein did it with Larry Page. Kanye West did it with Jay-Z. And James says, I make money only when I do this. Stand next to the smartest person in the room. And here's Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality. Wake up every morning trying to be better today than you were yesterday. Here's a piece of advice from retired Green Beret and UFC fighter Tim Kennedy. If you think you are the best at what you do, you're not. Be courageous and find somebody better. I really love that quote. And let's hit master key number 1, mentorship. And here's a quote from Denzel Washington. He said, show me a successful individual and I'll show you someone who had real positive influences in his or her life. I don't care what you do for a living. If you do it well, I'm sure there was someone cheering you on or someone showing you the way, a mentor. And out of our M3 method, here's master key number 1, mentorship. This is the most powerful out of our 3 ways, our 3 shortcuts to success. Mentorship is by far the most powerful. 10 minutes with a genius mentor, a world-class mentor, is with 10 years with a good coach or good books, because that mentor can tell you everything exactly what not to do, what not to waste your time on, and also exactly the key fundamentals to focus on. That 10 minutes right there. Mentorship is the most powerful, period. Go out and find someone who is 5 to 30 years ahead of you and ask them to mentor you. Or hire them as a coach, even. Coach and mentor simultaneously. We can use those, interchange those concepts. A mentor is free. A coach is paid for. But go find someone who's 5 to 30 years ahead of you and work with them in some capacity. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be once a month even, for half an hour or an hour. It could be every other week for 15 minutes. Be a good student. There's another important tip. Be a good student. If you're going out to find a mentor, be a good student. That means show up on time. That means do what you say you're going to do. That means listen to their advice and take action on it. That means say thank you and be extremely polite. That means offer to do something for them. Most of the time they'll say no, but you can offer. Just don't stop offering, because eventually there might be something that you can do for them to pay them back. Give them thoughtful gifts. All right. Be an enjoyable person to be around. Don't complain. Don't be negative. Again, don't be late. Be respectful and appreciative when you can find a mentor who's willing to give you their time. Here's a quote from Ty Lopez. He said this is the best piece of advice he ever received. And he got this from a mentor, his mentor, Alan Nation. Ignore 99 out of 100 people, but when you find that one person, listen to everything they say. And I say ignore 999 out of 1,000 people, or even 9,999 out of 10,000. And when you find that one person, listen to everything they say. And why do I say that? Because you can drown in information and drown in ideas, drown in opinions. Most people are just trying to help, but they are not experts at what you are trying to do. They have not done what you are trying to do. So really do everything you can to find that one person out of 1,000, out of 10,000. Listen to everything they say. Ignore unsolicited feedback or opinions. That doesn't mean listen to your team members, listen to your employees, listen to your family. It doesn't mean ask questions. It doesn't mean stop learning and shut everything down. But what you do want to do is really lock in on that one person who is, again, 5 to 30 years ahead of you, somebody that you would essentially trade lives with. You know, I tell people, if you want to get a life coach, get a life coach who you trade lives with, essentially. And there's a lot of great life coaches who can give great advice, so there's exceptions to this. But in general, find someone that you could trade lives with in terms of what you want to learn and what you want to get better at, whatever that is. Basketball, be more happy, get in better shape, build a successful business, whatever the case may be. Here's some examples of mentorship in action. Kobe Bryant was mentored by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was mentored by Phil Jackson and Dean Smith. Mark Zuckerberg was mentored by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was mentored by Bill Campbell. Oprah Winfrey was mentored by Maya Angelou. Bill Gates was mentored by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was mentored by Benjamin Graham. So there's some examples of mentorship in action. And here's a golden number, one of our statistics. Research shows that asking questions improves learning and performance by as much as 150%, says Gary Keller. And that's the founder of Keller Williams Realtor. Gary's a billionaire. And let's move on to master key number 2, modeling. It's our second best level. Number 1 is mentorship. Number 2 is modeling in terms of our shortcuts to success. Here's a quote from Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart. Most everything I've done, I've copied from someone else. Most everything I've done, I've copied from someone else. Kobe Bryant said there are no new moves. He modeled the best of the best until the moves became his own. And here's some examples of modeling, some good examples of modeling. Jeff Bezos modeled Sam Walton. Mark Zuckerberg modeled Steve Jobs. Abraham Lincoln modeled George Washington. Tony Robbins modeled Jim Rohn and Richard Bandler. Mike Tyson modeled Jack Dempsey. Bruce Lee modeled Muhammad Ali and Steve McQueen. Conor McGregor modeled Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, and Bruce Lee. Elvis Presley modeled Chuck Berry. The Beatles modeled Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry. These are some great examples of modeling. Here's a quote from Tony Robbins. It's not how, it's who. Who are the people that are where you want to be? Study and model this person. And Conor McGregor, I'll give you a power question here. Who is the best in the world that I can model? Who's the best in the world at what you're trying to be that you can model? I tell people to go to Mount Rushmore. Go to the Mount Rushmore of your field or the goal you're trying to achieve. And what I mean by that is go to the top 4. Go find roughly 3, 4, 5 of the best in your field and study them extensively. If you're trying to be happy, you can either study some of the happiest people like the Dalai Lama, or you can study the material that they write, or you can study the top 5 experts in the world on positive psychology, people like Dr. Martin Seligman. Go to Mount Rushmore. If you're trying to learn business, go a certain type of business. If you want to create a brilliant fitness center, go to the Mount Rushmore of your industry and study those people that started them, or study the businesses that are at the top of your industry and look to see what they do, because, again, success leaves clues. They all do things about 80% the same. The last 20% is their own personality and their own life experience and their own point of differentiation. But go out and look for that common 80% that they all do, and look to model that. Here's master key number 3, most impactful material. Here's a quote from Earl Nightingale. 1 hour per day of study will put you in the top of your field within 3 years. Within 5 years, you'll be a national authority. In 7 years, you can be one of the best people in the world at what you do. And that, you can take that literally or metaphorically, but if you study an hour a day, every day for 7 years, you will be one of the best at what you do. If you are studying good material, great material, elite material, and you are going to Mount Rushmore and looking and studying the best in your field, you study an hour a day, you will become elite at what you do. Let's talk about how to learn. Most impactful material. There's all kinds of ways to do this. Some people don't love reading, but they love talking to a mentor or coach and then doing things. They love to listen to audiobooks or podcasts. So find what's best for you. Me personally, I use all these ways. I use mentorship, I use coaching, I use books, audiobooks, podcasts, articles, documentaries. These are all great ways to learn. I use YouTube videos. I listen to lectures. I do all these things. So you have to choose what's best for you, though, and double down, triple down on that. Because if you try to force yourself to learn in a certain way you don't want to learn, you're going to really hinder your progress. Now, maybe you can love to learn certain things. That's possible, I guess. But if you want to double down on your learning style, what you love to do and how you love to absorb information the most, double down, triple down on that. And Brian Scott says, the ultimate life hack, reading. Read every day to improve yourself. Be like a child, be curious. Open your mind and feed it with information. Now, interchange reading with listening or modeling or talking to mentors. Reading is an extrovert habit. If you love to read or you love to listen to audiobooks, that is a great way to take in information because you can't always be around a mentor and you can't always be around somebody to model. So if you can take it in either audiobooks or books, it's excellent. Here's some reading habits. Jeff, allegedly, I'm not sure, I heard this before. I've never been able to find the source, but allegedly Jeff Bezos read Walmart founder Sam Walton's biography 100 times. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Mark Cuban reads for 3 hours a day. And Elon Musk learned how to build rockets by reading. So there's some examples of reading. And those are the keys. Those are key points from our reading, our most impactful material. Ido Portal says, always look for a teacher. And here's a most impactful material power question. What are the 3 books on a subject I want to learn about the most? What are the best 3 books on a subject that I want to learn about the most? Go to the Mount Rushmore and find the best of the best books. And that is principle number 2. Surround yourself with the best and brightest from our 7 principles. From the Code of Success, 1% Warrior Code of Success. Please pick yourself up a copy on Amazon or my website, coachajmadden.com, if you would like to improve at anything. This is a book on peak performance, success, and happiness. And it's the best of what I've learned over the last 20 years. I put it into one book, and I know you will find it helpful. I know there's things in here that you will find helpful. If you found this video useful, please click like and subscribe. If you found it helpful, please share it with someone that you believe will also find it helpful. I wish everyone success and happiness, and I challenge you to surround yourself with the best and brightest.